we've got our sort of the normal people from the core team. Emily unfortunately can't make it until the end of June, but she will be back with us and we'll be resuming normal service in July. So today we're going to give a very brief overview of the maturity model and for the practitioners group, and talk about sort of the latest artifacts and updates. Explain why we're here, what this maturity model is all about, and how we can get you involved in the process. Of course, we wouldn't be a sharing and caring session if we weren't getting a together mode session, so we'll do that. And then our big topic is, as I said earlier, talking about how do we manage content in Microsoft 365. And so we will delve into that. Next slide, please. So, you know, you guys, we have seen this if you've been on a session before. So we try to distill this down to a few slides, just so we can get to the meat of the presentation later on. So, what is the purpose of the maturity model? Well, it's aiming to enable people who are looking to drive benefits from Microsoft 365 and improve the organization through the use of technology. It's enabling an organization to sort of define what it is that they want to get out of that technology. How do they want to best improve the organization? So not allowing them to select an appropriate approach, so that then the resources and the understanding of the effort it can be planned and put in place. And it helps, to do that, it helps lead and support strategic planning. So using, being able to get senior management on board so that we can do this cool stuff, which we know will help the organization. Also, it's not really, just around the technology. It's allowing us to discuss what the platform can do for the organization from a business perspective with IT, so that we can bring the business and IT together and align them on what it is that we're looking to achieve. And the maturity model aims to allow an organization to benchmark itself and understand where it is in that maturity level for each of the competencies, so that it can understand where it is and where it needs to go. And also we're looking, as a way of creating a socialization around the Microsoft 365 landscape, and how it is that we can talk about Microsoft 365 with a shared understanding. We've got a number of competencies, which I won't list here. Infrastructure is in progress, but we still have competencies open around security and data analytics, and always looking for people, if they want to help and get involved or have some thoughts, then please reach out, and we will talk about how to do that shortly. Again, we also have the competencies, but we also have supporting articles to help help an organization elevate through the maturity levels and understanding what we mean by collaboration, what we mean by communication. Next slide, please, Marc. So we've got the maturity model. This slide just talks about what it is that each of the maturity model levels means, where we start from that level 100, that initial, this is kind of the default state. It's all very chaotic. People are driving different processes. There's no documentation. There's no discipline. We're not in a good place. And then as we work through those levels, we move up to what we the level 300, which is where things are defined and standardized, and that's a good place which we think you should be with your competencies. And then moving from defined, where level 400, we're adding some some measurements. We've been able to measure the improvements, or measure the competency, and then use those measurements with level 500 to see where it is we can optimize that competency and get the most benefit for that organization. So brief overview of the maturity model levels there for you. Next slide, please. Mark, would you like to pick up on how to get involved?
Sure. Your throat's getting a little dry. So
It is.
there are lots of lots of different ways you can get involved, and that's the bottom left. You know, it can be anything as complex as, you know, coming to one of these practitioner meetings and presenting a case study, or writing an article, or you know, joining us on the core team because you want to commit some time to help us refine our ideas, all the way down to, you know, you spot a spelling mistake in an article and you want to fix that for us. So that's from a content perspective. Other things you can do are contributing, you know, just feedback. You know, maybe you have some ideas on some of the content that you see, and you think we could make it a little bit better. Happy to take your thoughts either verbally or in writing, or you know, you can send a carrier pigeon if you'd like. And then the other thing that's probably the easiest thing to do, and it actually is really important, is to socialize the content. You know, post about it on your social networks. Use it in your meetings with your staff, with your boss, to try to let more people know that this is here. And, you know, the more people who see it and the more people who use it, the better it's going to get and the more useful it'll be. We want this to be a very safe space to discuss these topics, because you know, if you think about it, if you're just getting into things, or if you've been running Microsoft 365 for a while, but you realize that, you know, you're not really sort of, you know, tearing up the pavement with your usage, we want you to be able to talk about exactly where you are and what your struggles are, without feeling like you're exposing yourself in some way. So we only record the beginning of these sessions, the part that's the intro, and then the rest of it is, you know, we talk about it being a safe space. And feel free to talk about anything. You know, the first rule of the practitioners calls is we don't talk about what happens in the practitioners calls unless you want us to. So we go through this sort of introductory stuff just to level set. We always have some new people. These calls are really you know, driven by you as a community, so we're always going to be looking for suggestions and thoughts from you as to where we go next. And I'm clicking. Okay. You want me to do this one too?
Oh no, I'll take this. All
right. Simon's back.
Right. You know, thank you to all people attended our session in May. It was a great session. Really enjoyed it. If you want to get involved, we've got some great sessions being sort of run by the Pattern and Practice to enable you to understand how you can contribute. So we've got the community doc sessions to understand how you can communicate and collaborate with the community docs and write content there. And then we've got first time contribute sessions as well, which really helps you understand the processes behind you know, working with GitHub and submitting pull requests and all that good stuff. Our next practitioners call is July the 20th, and we are running it on, well, we're running a session on running a maturity model workshop, which I think it's going to be really interesting to get your feedback and thoughts on that. So actually, how is it that we can run a maturity model workshop and understand where the organization is and where it wants to be? All of the sharing is caring can be accessed via the link there. And if we could move to the next slide, please. Right then, I've not done this before, but it's now PNP Picture Time. Is this over to you, Dave? Do you take this?
Sure, I can if you'd like. No problem. Give me just a minute so I can get into together mode.
The rest of us aren't that good with technology, so if you could help out.
Yeah, what is this Teams thing?
Come on, everyone, turn on your cameras, show us your smiling faces. We like to know that there are actual people behind those initials. And it's fun because now I recognize people. Somebody like CT or KB. Now I know who you are. And there's PG.
All right, let me take over the screen share here. So that way, get everyone
Stand by. I
All
got it
right.
working finally.
Yeah, got everybody
Oh,
coming in. Yeah, it's a little slow
everybody's
today.
joining. Yeah, everyone's coming into the theater. The ushers must have been sleeping.
Yeah, so let's give it just a moment and everybody smile. And let me grab it.
Everyone smile like you look like in the post office.
Well, no, not like there. That's
not like that, Ralph.
That's
No,
the uncomfortable, creepy one. Yeah.
No. That's when your driver's license. You have to look like you're hungover when you take your picture. That way, every time they look at it, think about it. Yes, we're all about tips. Sharing is caring.
That's right.
Follow Ralph on Twitter for more health guidelines on how to smile.
And how to smile before you're pulled over.
Yeah. All right. Back to you, gents. And I think this is where we stop the recording.